Okay. So we'll start with today's internship session. So all the people who have their presentation, please raise your hand. I want all of you to raise your hand if you have your presentation today. And Milind, I can see that you are scheduled for a presentation today. And is the name of your topic overview of project synopsis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please turn your cam on and share the screen.
Okay, sir. So is it available visual?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay, so hello guys. Yeah, I'm Milind from third year completed UG student of IIT, and my today's project is real-time stock market notification. Yeah. So let's move to the next page. So our this so we will check out first we will check out the introduction of our project. Then the key features are which are included in our project. Then we see the tools and techniques of our data web application. And then we see the path forward for working project. Then we see what are the challenges we were faced in the making of project and the documentation of our project. And finally, the conclusion of our project. So first, okay, so let me see the introduction. Our today's task is to provide an overview of the project synopsis of the project. Real-time stock market web application, and its description is as follows. Our project is full-stack web application of stock. It allows users, means investors, to track the real-time stock market data in a comprehensible format. It provides up-to-date information on stock prices, volume, market trends, and other relevant data, which are retrieved from APIs. The application prioritizes user security, privacy, incorporating features like user authentication and robust security measures to safeguard sensitive information. Now we move on to the task instruction is to understand this project synopsis and deliver professional presentation in today's meeting. And let's discuss the key features of our project, which are first real-time stock market data. The web application pulls real-time stock market data from APIs and displays stock prices, volume, market trends, and other information. Then second key feature is user authentication and security. The web application has features such as user authentication and security to ensure that user data is protected. The third point is easy to understand format. Web application displays the stock market data in an easy to understand format. Making it easier for investors to track their investments. And the fourth key feature is the responsive design. The web application is designed to be responsive, making it easy to use on different devices. So first of all, there should be a question rises in our mind. Why do we need this website? So first, it gives a very precise information. Like by utilizing the alpha advantage APIs, users get the most up-to-date and accurate information on stock prices, volume, market trends, and many more essential data. This level of precision enables investors to make informed decisions and track their investments very effectively. And secondly, the web application ensures that the data displays is updated on every minute and every seconds, offering real-time insights into dynamic stock market. This feature is crucial for investors who require immediate access to the latest market data to stay ahead of market fluctuations and capitalize on investment opportunities quickly. By continuously updating the information, the application keeps users informed about the most recent developments, enhancing their ability to make timely investment decisions. And the last part is company investor introduction. The stock market data verification promotes this company investor interaction. It serves as a platform that facilitates communication and engagement between companies and investors. With the wealth of information available, investors can gain a deeper understanding of the companies, their financial performance, and market trends. This promotes transparency and empowers investors to make informed choices while fostering a stronger connection between companies and their stakeholders. Our next slide is based on the tools and techniques used to make this project. So for frontend, we use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js. For backend, we use Node.js, Express.js, libraries, and for storing the data, we use the MongoDB database. And for APIs, we use most renowned and trustful API service like Alpha Vantage API. Now discuss a little all of them and deeper. So, yeah, in frontend, HTML used to creating the structure of the web design, page layouts, tags, and attributes, while CSS is used for designing, styling, and decorating the web pages and helps to achieve through responsive web techniques. And the third tool is JavaScript. It allows users to interact with web pages. It allows to add dynamic behavior to the web page and add special effects to the web page. To add interactive elements that engage users. Without JavaScript, 90% of the internet web pages would be static. And the fourth one is last tool for frontend is React.js. React lets us build rich user interface easily. It is an open source JavaScript framework used for building interactive user interfaces and web applications quickly and efficiently with significantly less code that you would have with JavaScript. Now, forgetting to the backend. So now, first module, Node.js. The superpower of Node.js is the fast processing of real-time requests. Node.js is the only good for small applications with same light request. But Node.js makes a good backend for real-time communications kinds of application that allows two-way communication between clients and server. Its single threaded functionality makes it best suited for real-time communication. Second point is Express.js. It is the most popular backend framework for Node.js, and it is an extensive part of the JavaScript ecosystem. It allows to handle large amounts of traffic with ease. Express.js is highly flexible, can be used to build a wide range of applications, from simple websites to complex APIs. Now, all the data has to be stored somewhere, which is too much flexible for our business idea. So we stick to a database manager called MongoDB. MongoDB database manager. It facilitates storing nested data that can be used to store complex data patterns in the same documents. This makes it easier to fetch data and work on it. With MongoDB, business can analyze any data in place and deliver insights in real time. That gives organizations new capabilities, including some points like capturing, streaming, or batch data of all types without excessive data mapping. Second point is analyzing data easily and intuitively with a built-in aggregation framework. And the last point is delivering data insights rapidly and at a scale with ease. By combining data from real-time events with historic and reference data sets, organizations can optimize queries to deliver actionable results. This translates to better insights and better customer engagement. Last tool required for a real-time web application is APIs. APIs are used to integrate new application with existing software systems, which is here as our website. This increases development speed because each functionality does not have to be written from scratch. APIs are used to integrate new application with existing software systems. This increases the development speed because each functionality doesn't have to be written from the scratch. So we use the Alpha Vantage APIs. This provides enterprise grade financial market data through a set of powerful and developer friendly data APIs. News API used for searching the articles published over thousands of news sources and blogs. Now we move on to the path flow of our working project. At first, we interact with the homepage or authentication page, then fill our credentials. If not, then one should go for sign up and create his or her account after verification. Mail sent to his or her Gmail account, then she would log in. Then investor go for search box and type a company name, press search button. API server receives the request and processes it. The API server fetches the requested data from its database or real-time data sources. Once the API server processes the request and retrieves the requested data, it formulates a response. This server-side function receives the API response from Alpha Vantage APIs and formulates a response to send back to the front end of the web application. And that collected data visualization occurs in various patterns on front end. Now, what were the challenges we were going through? Like the main challenge of the project will be to pull real-time stock market data from APIs and display it in an easy to understand form. And the second challenge will be to implement user authentication and security features to protect user data. So we will be on documentation after the conclusion page, after this presentation. So now, what is the conclusion? In conclusion, the stock market data web application offers investors a reliable and user-friendly platform to access real-time stock market data with its precise information, continuous data updates, and emphasis on company investor interaction. The website provides a valuable resource for investors to make informed data decisions, track their investments effectively, and stay connected with the dynamic world of the stock. Here are some references, and thank you. If you anything you would like to ask. Yeah, just a minute. So, yeah. Now we go through the documentation page. So let me share again. Where's my documentation? Yeah, so here is my documentation part. So first that give the brief description of our website, which I already introduced you in the starting. Then we we have given some points on the front end, CSS, and the APIs part. Then it gives all the working of APIs activation. So how API integrate, then how API take response, how does the server side function do, like, and response to, and how it takes to from backend to the front end to response, and the last part is the front end update. And for acknowledgement, our real stock data web application is truly based on the Alpha Vantage APIs. So here I have given you my API link, API key, and here's my contact information. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope you are done with the presentation.
Yes.
Okay. See, you need to work on your overall story part. Okay. See, your explanation was great. Okay. You did explain everything correctly. Also, the way you have laid out your presentation, that was also good. Okay, it was better than most of the event. That was step by step, which is better. Okay. Your PPT was also really great. Okay, it is clean and nice looking. That is a good thing. But the overall content quality can be improved in the both PPT as well as the explanation. Right. So the thing is, when you are explaining things like overview of project synopsis, you need to heavily focus on the project itself. That is the stock market trading application. Your presentation was heavily focused towards the framework itself, right? So it's more easier to understand like what kind of tools we are using. That is, I got clean view of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But when it comes to your actual a website that you are trying to create, it wasn't really in depth. So try to give more focused, be more focused toward that part. Okay. Other than that, it was fine, well explained. The framework was really well explained, like why we are using it, as well as like what is the actual use of this framework in your presentation. That was well explained. But be more focused towards the project oriented explanation. Also, the
Yes.
documentation that you are showing, that was okay, but your overall demonstration can be improved, right? I believe you forgot, but you remembered that you need to show it, right? So it wasn't like really great transition between the presentation and demonstration. So work on that. Other than that, it was fine. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Milind. Okay, then Nikita, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay, I will look at your query, and else you can wait for everyone's presentation to be over, and then we'll start with the general query session. So next is Khadija. Yeah. What is the name of your topic? You are not audible, Khadija. Please check your mic. Okay, I'll give you 5 seconds. Check if this.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, now you are audible.
Okay, sir. The topic for my website is a doctor search website, and I'm using front-end technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and for backend, I've been using PHP and MySQL. Should I start the presentation, sir?
Yeah, you can share the screen and then.
Okay, just. So the topic for my website is a doctor search website, which provides the patients, the guest users, they are visiting the website to a very interactive user friendly interface with the website. So to make it possible, I'm using HTML and CSS to adjust the elements and everything in the website. The common motive and the main objective of my website is to allow the user, the customer, to search the doctor using their name, their general category. Suppose if they are searching for a doctor that is a general physician, so it allows the patient, the user to search it through their areas. So if the if the doctor is available in the area that is Pune area, that result will be displayed on the next page. That was the main motive of my website. So main introduction, that it allows a user-friendly interface with the patients. The doctor search website boosts a user-friendly interface that makes user it a very easy way to interact and search for their relative doctors, what category they are looking for. And The robust technology I've been using, which is PHP and MySQL, all the data stored in the PHP database will be shown on the next page if available, only if available on the next page. And if it is not available, it will be shown that you need to search, you need to retry, a message will be prompted. So MySQL database is used to store a very effective database, that is using doctor and the area, allowing users to search through these categories. The search filter. This search filter is helps the user to search through the category and to browse whatever whatever the doctor they are looking for. This is the website design. This will be the first image is the home page, where this is doctor search frame, and here the just a second, sir. Okay, so the find a doctor frame allows the user to enter the category, that is general region, and the area they have been in the category. Name by Kolkata, what is the area? Even general physician, doctor physician, such as will the user to take should approach the doctor on. And the conclusion main move, as I already said, was uh,
Okay, we'll wait for 1 minute. And if she doesn't join, then we'll continue to next talk.
I'm sorry, yeah, we are facing heavy rain, so it's bad weather, and
Yeah.
it's causing bad network connection. I'm
So
sorry.
you can continue from where you left. You were on the design part.
So should I start from start?
Yeah, that will be also fine.
Okay. Screen is visible.
Wait, it is loading. No, your screen is not visible.
Okay, so it's lagging just a minute.
Okay, do one thing. Stop the screen share. We'll continue again. Okay, I will take presentation for Sandhya, and then I will come back to you. Okay, fix your internet by that time. Okay, Sandhya. Can you tell me your topic now?
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sandhya Vennapusa from Web Developer Group. Today, I'm going to talk about the overview of the project Synopsis of real-time stock market data web application. These are the contents of my presentation. section. First, we will talk about introduction, what is this web application, and then what are the features it will provide, and what are the technologies used to build this application, then working of the application, then challenges faced, and then we will see my documentation, then we will see the conclusion. So introduction, what is real-time stock market data web application? It is a user-friendly online platform that provides up-to-date information about stock market prices and related data. Users can search for specific stocks or companies, and they can view the information about them and monitor the details like price fluctuations and make informed investment decisions based on the data provided in the web application. So with this web application, investors, traders, and financial professionals can stay informed about the latest market trends and monitor the performance of stocks and make timely decisions to buy or sell investments. So what are the key features provided by this web application? Real-time stock market data. The web application gets real-time data using APIs like livestock prices, trading volume, market trends, and other relevant information, so that users can access the most accurate and up-to-date information about their investments. Next, user authentication and security. As we know, the security is most important to us and users. That's why the user authentication and security feature is incorporated in the web application, so that users can freely use the web application knowing that their data is secure. And next, easy to understand format. We know that not all investors or financial experts, they need the data that they can easily understand. So the web application provides the data in an easy to understand format, like using graphs and charts and other visually appealing manner. It can provide complex data into more readable, which makes it easier for users to track their investments and analyze the market trends. And responsive design. The web application is developed with a responsive design. Means it can access across different devices like computer, desktop, laptop, tablet, and smartphone. So that the users can access the application anywhere, anytime, and on any device. These are the technologies used to build this application. Front end, in the front end part, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js is used. In backend part, Node.js, Express.js, MongoDB is used. And in APIs, Alpha Vintage API, News API is used. On the front end, HTML is used for creating the structure of web pages, and CSS is used for styling and enhancing the visual appearance of the application. And JavaScript is used to add interactivity and dynamic functionality to the web application. Actually, these are the foundational technologies to build any web pages. And React.js. React.js is a powerful JavaScript library which is used for building user interfaces, which makes the web application more user-friendly. Next, on the backend part, backend of the web application handles requests and process and manage the database, interacts with the database. And Node.js. Node.js is used for executing the JavaScript code on the server side. It provides the scalability and high performance. It helps us to handle multiple user requests. And Express.js, it is a fast and minimalist web application framework for Node.js. It helps us to simplify the process of building the web application. to handle server-side routing and API integration, and MongoDB. For storing and retrieving data, NoSQL database is used. It offers the flexibility and scalability. And APIs, to get the real-time data, we use APIs, Alpha Vintage API and News API. Alpha Vantage API is used to fetch real-time stock market data like prices, volumes, and market trends. And News API is utilized to retrieve relevant news articles and updates related to specific stocks or the overall market. Now let's see the working of the application. First is a user interaction. User interacts with the web application interface. Like it is basically that the user can perform actions and they get the information they needed on the interface. And next, front-end processing. It handles, it accesses the user request and formats it before sending it to the backend. And backend processing, it handles the request from the front end. The user authentication and security. Backend handles the user authentication and security. It only authorizes the users by checking the user credentials. And data retrieval and storage. Backend retrieves the data from APIs and personal information of users like their portfolio, etc. From MongoDB database. And then response generation and delivery. Then the retrieval data from APIs is formatted into JSON or XML and then delivered to the front end. And front end delivers in a visually appealing manner in the web application. These are the challenges to build this application. Pulling real-time stock market data from APIs. We need accurate data from APIs. So that's why it is necessary to use trusted APIs. So that's why we use Alpha Vantage API and News API. And we need to display the data in an easy to understand format so that any users can understand the data. Then user authentication and security. It is important to secure the user data. So it involves the careful planning and continuous testing and ongoing monitoring to ensure the real-time data is accurately displayed in an easily understandable format while maintaining the highest level of security and user privacy. Let's see my documentation now. This is the documentation I prepared. Table of contents, introduction, objective.
Sandhyay,
key
documentation is not visible. You need to share the screen again.
Oh, okay. Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah, it is visible.
This is the documentation I prepared. The table of contents, introduction, objective, key features, and technologies, working of the application, challenges, and then conclusion. The key features, technologies, front-end and back-end API technologies, then working of the application, the challenges, conclusion. The conclusion. So in conclusion, the real-time stock market data web application is a valuable tool for investors, traders, and finance professionals. It provides the users the data in an easy to understand format, and it allows the users to track their investment effectively And it also offers user authentication and security feature so that they can ensure they can freely use the application, knowing it can secure the user data. And with the use of web technologies, it offers the seamless retrieval and display of real-time data. Uh, so it ensures the investor with the information they need to make informed decisions in the stock markets. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, so I hope you are done with the presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, your content was great. Okay, the way you have made your content is good, but you need to work on your presentation skill as well as the explanation skill. You need to work on your overall, delivery. The thing is, see, your presentation content is good, but when you are explaining it, you are basically reading it from the slide, right? And I am able to read it faster than you, right? So there is no point in me listening to your explanation because I can basically read it and I can read it faster than you are speaking and I'm just looking at it. I can basically read it faster than you. But that shouldn't be point. Reduce the amount of text you have, okay, and add it into the actual explanation. Okay, work on your explanation skill, work on your overall story type. Try to give a scenario or try to make some example that will be make it easier for you to remember what you are trying to say. That will be better. So work on your overall delivery. Okay, practice it. Other than that, your content is good. Okay. Okay, then we'll move on to Manish Wahale.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible and clearly visible?
Yeah. Can you tell me the name of your task?
So, explorative data analysis. So, can I share the screen?
Okay, just a second. You are scheduled for develop future location prediction system.
Sir, actually, that I have already presented, sir. But actually, what I did is that after presenting, I scheduled the next task. So that's why it is telling that the future location prediction is scheduled.
Okay, just a second. Okay. I have to ask the answer about it because the thing is I need to process it, right? So that your actual video will be processed along with that. That is only when your presentation will be considered as completed. So do one thing, okay? You can take your presentation, but if necessary, I will email you to if it is needed, you need to schedule again. Okay, but I
Okay, sir.
email you for a confirmation.
So, I have a general question. So, the thing is that actually I haven't scheduled the future location prediction, but delivered the presentation without scheduling it. So that's why is there this the problem?
Sometimes what happens is when you get a new task, your schedule, you also get scheduled for it. Okay, so that is not a problem. Okay, that is a normal thing to happen because uh,
So,
I believe that was your first task, right?
yeah, that was the first task, and this is second.
In first task, basically sometimes it gets automatically scheduled because some of the tasks their requirement is to give presentation at the end.
Yes. So actually, and this task was scheduled at 24. So 24 and 25 were weekends, and 26 was Monday. So that's why I'm giving today.
Okay, so do the presentation. Okay, I will ask the answer about it.
Okay, so fine, sir. Just a minute. Sir. So is it visible? The screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible in the chat.
Yeah. So again, good evening, sir. I'm very present here. So I'll be talking about the task, which is exploratory data analysis, EDA, for the project understanding descriptive diagnostic and predictive prescriptive models. So let's get started. So this is the table of contents. The task objective. We'll understand what the task objective was, Then we'll understand the exploratory, what is exactly the exploratory data analysis, then the data information, then we'll go to the EDA demonstration, and lastly, the key takeaways. So this presentation will be lighter and more focus will be on the EDA demonstration. So let's understand what was the actual task objective. So as we know, in our day-to-day life, there are like thousands to lakhs of credit cards transaction going around over the world in a day. So if there is any fraud transaction, it will get hidden between those thousands to lakhs of transaction. So it gets very important for these credit card companies to actually recognize this fraudulent credit card transaction very precisely and very quickly, so that we can save our customers from the any mishaps in the future. So the task is to perform this exploratory data analysis on the credit card detection dataset, which I have collected from the Kaggle website, and then do extra EDA, and finally extract some meaningful insights, which will tell us that this kind of factors are affecting or are responsible for more fraudulent transactions. So we'll understand what exploratory data analysis is. So in simple terms, it is basically a simple systematic approach to basically understand the data which we are provided, which is the structured data in the form of tabular manner. Then what are the features present in the data set, the main characteristics, the patterns and correlations present in the data, and bring some meaningful insights, and finally form some hypothesis so that it becomes a facts someday around after many testing. So the primary objectives of exploratory data analysis are it is used for summarizing the main features and statistics of the data set. So summarizing the main features means that the data contains the metadata, which tells us about the data itself. So basically, we actually summarize what the data tells to us and what are the statistical information like mean, max, median, etc. about the data features. Then identifying patterns and relationships. So for example, there are, let's say, take an example of predicting a heart disease, which contains data which has like age feature, then gender feature, then the hemoglobin content of the person, and etc. The RBCs and WBCs. So are there any correlations between these features, any patterns that are present in them? So we'll identify such kind of correlations in our credit card data, then detecting outliers and anomalies. So we also detect whether there are any abnormalities in our data, some outliers present in the data. Then also we'll check if there is missing value in our data or something, and then finally we'll handle the missing value. Then we'll see the assessing data quality and integrity. So basically, is our data quality good or not? Is our data suitable for the task which we are hoping for? Like here in the case, predicting the credit card fraudulent frequency. And lastly, after doing that, after gathering some meaningful insights from that analysis, we'll formulate some hypotheses, and which will be helpful for refining research questions. So for example, in the same heart disease prediction example, so if we consider, oh, that age factor is more important, more responsible for more heart disease prediction, so it becomes a research fact that uh, oldest people are more prone to heart disease somewhat. In the same way for our credit card data only. So the data is taken from the Kaggle website, which is a data science website, and it can be found at this link provided in this presentation. So we'll look at the data in the demonstration itself, but for now, the metadata which is provided to us is like this. So dataset consists of transaction made by credit cards in September 2013 by European cash holders. And this dataset presents the transaction that occurred in 2 days. So the history of the transaction of the 2 days were taken, out of which out of the 284,807 transaction, there were only 492 fraudulent transactions over there. The data also consists of some features like V1 to V28, these 28 features, which are not, they are not disclosed because of some privacy issue, but they are generated through the process called PCA, which is Principal Component Analysis, which is basically dimension reduction. So like there will be like hundreds to 200s of features which were present originally in the data, but they have uh, reduced to 28 features. The data also consists of time feature, which is the time elapsed between a particular transaction minus the first transaction in our dataset history. So and this time is in seconds. The data also consists of amount, the transaction amount the person has transacted, and lastly the class, which is a responsive response feature, which is like the fraudulent or valid transaction. It is a boolean, which if we are using ML models, we are going to predict that using classification models. So let's see the demonstration, because most of the part will be focused on demonstration itself and the presentation will be lighter. So you can find the notebook link, which is the Python interactive Python notebook link on this Kaggle, which I am public that. And for now, for the sake of presentation, I am loading it from my local machine. So here's the uh, code, that is the notebook. So the credit card fraud detection EDA. So as we can see here, uh, the metadata is displayed here. I've displayed the metadata which was provided in the Kaggle dataset by the author itself. The dataset information, as we have discussed earlier, there are only 492 fraudulent transactions out of these many transactions. And the author have also said that the dataset is highly imbalanced. That is the we can also see here that out of these many, only 492 are fraudulent. So only 0.172% of the transaction were fraudulent. So if you are using ML model, it will be very difficult for the ML model to basically classify this fraudulent data set. So we will see what can be done about that. And again, the features I've also discussed earlier. So let's start with the code demonstration. So uh, I've imported here the necessary libraries, which will be proved helpful for the analysis. So NumPy pandas, they are basically some linear algebra and handling the data. Then Matplotlib, Seaborn, and Plotly are the graphical libraries, which will be helpful for plotting graphs. So I've actually downloaded the data in my local machine and imported here using pandas. So the import is successful, and we can see here there are actually 31 columns, the 28 features, time feature, amount feature, and the class target variable. Then we'll see the data info. So after doing this kind of code, you can see that there are actually 284807 entries in our data, and the features which are present are actually all numerical feature. We can see here that all of the features are float 64, only one is in 64, which is also numerical only, and the data memory is of 67.4 MB. So this is actually of no use for our task, but for the metadata itself. So now the description of our data. So this tells us about the statistical information about the data, which I've already mentioned in the presentation at the earlier stage. So it tells us about the count, the count of every feature, the mean value feature, the standard deviation, mean. So at looking at this tabular form, we cannot understand very much. So I have also make it in a graphical manner. So we'll see it later. Then this code is basically to see if there are any missing values present. So we can see here that there are actually no missing values here. So the data insets are that all the features are numerical. So we don't have to handle any kind of categorical variables here. There are 284,807 transaction over a span of 172,792 seconds. So we can here see that the time minimum value is 0 and the maximum value is at that figure. So here we can also check that the quality of the data. So for example, if the time was in negative, so the data quality would have been bad. So that's not the case here. So again, the with the maximum transaction amount of 25691 units. So it also we can also check here that the minimum value is 0 and the maximum is this only. So amount also has not fishy values or ranges. So the data quality is quite good here, and there are also no missing values present in our data. So let's get started with the actual task, which is the explorative data analysis. So actually, I first copied the data frame into a frame for ED only, for ED only purpose. Then I also created one additional feature, which is hours. So basically dividing time by 3600, which converts it into hours. So for 2 days, there will be 48 hours. So as the author has also mentioned that the uh, data consists of very high imbalanced class. So we'll also check that our own through this pie chart. So the pie chart also tells us that there is only 0.173% of fraudulent transaction, and there is a mass chunk of non-fraudulent valid transactions. So the note is also that the data is very imbalanced, as we have seen in pie chart. So it basically serves as the main point for handling this imbalance. So we can do that by using doing minority class oversampling or majority class undersampling of our training set, which we will be using in our while training the machine learning model. So the another thing we can do is that using boosting models for ML for the predictive classification, such as XGBoost or CatBoost or LGBM. So these models are basically robust enough to handle the class imbalance their own automatically. So we can use this boosting model. And finally, it clear the imbalance class. The actually the best metric to to for such problems is that the precision recall matrix. Uh, so these metrics are often used for imbalance classification. So the key points we have gathered from this on this pie chart are these one. So now let's see the frequency of the valid and fraudulent transaction over time. So what kind of features affect this through the time? So these are the graph. This graph is for the non-fraud and these are for the fraudulent transactions. So here we can clear cut see that the for non-fraudulent transaction there is some sort of seasonality. There are some ups and downs, but in fraudulent transaction they are, yeah, basically uniformly irregular curves. So we cannot tell that there is some sort of seasonality in them. And for more precise checking, I have divided the count of fraudulent and non-fraudulent transaction and gathered the ratio. And we can also see that uh, the peaks are from 0 to 10 and from 25 to 30. So here one thing is the most important thing we can take care from that. So here we can see that 0 to 6 means that this is the midnight hours, and also from 26 to 30, which are also midnight hours. So there are no fraudulent transactions at these hours. And for the same case, from 25 to 30, that is hours, and from 0 to 6, the ratio of this fraudulent to non-fraudulent increases drastically and have a peak here. So we can say that the fraudulent transactions often happen at midnight, after midnight, like from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So these are the key takeaways from this graph. So just like we have seen the time feature correlation, we'll also see the amount, how amount affects the classes. So from this graph, it seems that there is no direct or indirect correlation. And from also this ratio 1, the ratio of the counts of fraudulent to non-fraudulent transactions for a certain amount. I have plotted a scatter plot along with a trend line. So we can see here that the trend line increases and decreases. So we cannot tell from this graph that the amount is that much important for this frauds and non-frauds. So amount has little to no correlation in this transaction. So just I have mentioned here the statistical information in the tabular format. This is hard to understand. So I have plotted a min max min max mean graph here. So this basically tells us the ranges of the feature variables. So here we can see that the features mean is almost near to 0 for all of the features, and the ranges are also not too high. Most of the feature ranges are between -50 to 50. So we can say that there is no need for some sort of uh, feature scaling here. But for time and amount feature which are high, we need to do feature scaling here. But we can here clearly see that we can intuitively say that these are generated from some sort of algorithm, which is the PCA. So these are the insight only. The mean values are close to 0, and most of the feature values ranges from -50 to 50. So now it's time to analyze the PC features only through the density plots. So this is a very important plot. We have many meaningful insight from this plot. So I have plotted a density curve for each feature for fraudulent and non-fraudulent transactions. So the red lines are for the frauds and blue lines are for the non-frauds. So from the insights from this graph is that we can see that for the non-frauds, there is always a peak at 0. You can see here that all the peaks are centered at 0 for non-fraud transactions. So there is very clear-cut uniform normal distribution here. But for non-fraudulent fraudulent transactions, the case is not the same. So we have here V11, V12, V14, and V17. So this V11, V12. So we can see here that the peaks are clearly separable. So the graphs where the peaks are clearly separable, these are the most important features which are going to be for the ML models. So these features are very important for this. And we can also see here that though the non-fraudulent are have a uniform sharp peak for zeros, the other way around is that the fraudulent transaction density plots are basically skewed and have a wide spread. So we can see here that the graph is widespread, density is widespread. Here also the density is spread and also skewed rather on other than the non-fraudulent transactions. So let's see, are there any outliers present? So out of like 284,000, there are 6,000 outliers in this picture, and the graphs are shown here like that till V11. So V11 has the least outliers present. So I've also plotted the outliers for fraudulent and non-fraudulent for each feature. So there seems to be no correlation between the outliers. For example, if the outliers of the fraudulent transaction ones are increasing, then the non-fraudulents are also increasing or decreasing, or the other way around. So there is no sort of any correlation between the outliers present in both the classes. So here, this is an interesting plot, the percentage proportion of outliers. So for example, if there are, there are like 492 fraudulent transactions. So out of that, how much proportion of the outliers are present are calculated, and also for the same for non-fraudulent transactions. And also their ratio are taken. So here we can see that out of 109, 99% of the outliers are present in fraudulent transactions. So this red line designates the fraudulent outliers and blue for the valid transaction outliers. So we can see that only two features, V24 and V26, have more outliers for the non-fraudulent transactions. So this tells us that the transactions which contain any fraud, some sort of fraud, have features which have very high or low values, which are basically outliers to the whole data set. So these are the key takeaways from this graph. So here I also mentioned mostly for fraudulent transaction, the feature variables seems to have outliers. So again, for more clarity, I've also plotted the box plot for the valid transactions. So here the same. It also tells us about the feature ranges like -15 to 5 here for this case, and the white ones are the outliers present. And the same for the fraudulent transactions also. So now let's see, is there some sort of correlation present in our features? So I plotted a Pearson correlation plot. So we can clearly see here that the PC features that is from V1 to V28 have almost no correlation. So here we can see the color, which is almost near to 0. But the only correlation is among the amount, hours class, and the time class. So here we can see that the transaction mode has direct correlation with V7, V7, V20, then V6, then V4 and V21. So the darker ones, they are directly correlated, and the lighter ones, which are white ones, they are inversely correlated ones. And also for the same, there is also correlation in the time feature also. So for our simplicity, I've also created a dashboard for each feature, so we can clearly see the box plot of the feature, the density plot, the statistical information about the feature. So for example, like here it is displaying the time feature. We can check for V10, so it will show us the V10 feature maps. So these are the plots for the V10 features. It contains 98% outliers in the fraudulent one and 1.66% in the non-fraudulent one. And also this is the scatter plot for doing bivariate analysis. So I've compared the V1 and V2 plot. So we can also do for V1 and V6. This will take some time in our dashboard because the scatter plot here, it is plotting for like 284,000 points. So it will show. So this is the plot for that. So we can play around here, and this is very much beneficial for real time data set where the feature values are changing uh, each time. So we can manage and experiment with this. So this is all, and I have taken, these are all the references where I have taken some of the ideas here. So back to our presentation. So the key takeaways from this explorative data analysis is that the data set is highly imbalanced. Only 0.173% are the fraudulent cases. So we have to handle that before creating the ML model. Then the transaction with frauds has an overall uniform distribution. So for over time, so there are no ups and downs, but we can see we have seen that there is some sort of seasonality in the non-fraudulent data set, non-fraudulent uh, transactions. So, and there's no, seems to be no to little correlation between the fraudulent transaction or not and the amount of the transaction. And lastly, mostly for fraudulent transaction, the feature variables seems to have outliers. So if we consider that removing the outliers from the dataset, this will drastically reduce the model accuracy because we are basically removing the fraudulent class entities only. So already they are very less, and removing the outliers, they'll all become very less. So this will hamper the model performance. So That's all. If you have any question, you can ask, or you can contact or email me at this ID. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, well done on the presentation. As I said, last time also your presentation was good, but this time your explanation skills were much better, I would say. Okay.
Thank you.
Although your storytelling skills are better, but it's like, it is above average than like lot of people who are giving the presentation. It is, I would say, above average, but you need to work on that. Your PPT was also great this time. I can see there are a lot of improvements, so good job on that. Again, your communication skills and again the conclusion was also great. Okay. Uh, it is okay. You did mention everything that can be said. Okay, but I believe it can be improved, right? And second thing
Yes.
is when you are giving the project demonstration, see your project demonstration was great. You did explain everything, all the outputs and everything. But what I would say is try to make it more beginner friendly, right? Because let us say
Yes, sir.
people who are coming from the non-data science background. So if you are explaining something like correlation, so try to give some kind of exposure on what is correlation, why does it matter, and then try to give explanation on the output so that it makes more sense, right? And that can be said for various things that we have explained. Although outputs were really well explained, so that it made sense when you look at it. But again, if will
Yeah.
be better if you can make it more beginner friendly. Okay,
Yes.
so work on your project demonstration skills. Other than that, your explanation skills are really great. Okay, that is all I have to say. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
yeah, thank you, Manish. Okay, then we'll move on to let's see. Khateja, I hope your internet issue is not resolved.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can start again.
Okay. Screen is visible?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, sir. So the task I was allotted was the doctor search website. I've built this website using HTML, CSS, and jQuery. jQuery is the JavaScript framework, and for the backend, I have used PHP and MySQL. Intro for the website. The main objective for this website is to create a user-friendly web page which allows user to browse through the category and to the particular area and find the doctor they are easy to interact with based on the area. User-friendly interface. The user-friendly interface, which means HTML and CSS are used to create an interactive framework. And also I have used, this is the design of the website. This is the framework. You can easily enter the category here and select the area you have been looking for the doctor. And by clicking on search, the result from the database, whatever the doctors are available in the database will be displayed on the search page. That is the next page. This is what I mean by saying that the website is user friendly. Easily anyone can search for search for a doctor. The backend technology, the robust, which mean PHP and MySQL are used. These are the two most widely used technologies, and MySQL is used to store the database, and all the database is fetched using PHP. And those fetched database is represented on the page using HTML and CSS. Search filter. By this filter, the guest user is feels easy to search and browse through different doctors. So if we have a long list of doctors here, they can easily scroll down and look for other doctors which are effective for their needs. The design layout for the website, and at the end conclusion, the doctor website is a user-friendly website. It can easily allow the user to search using just a search button, and all the fetch data, all the results will be displayed on the other web page. If not, if the result is, if the doctor or if the area is not present, that specific area is not present in the database, it will show a message that you need to try again, no search result found, something like that. And this is the database. We have got 4 doctors here. 3 are from Pune and 1 is from Mumbai. And the 3 are available here on the next page. So this is the conclusion. Again, thank you.
I hope you are done with your presentation.
Yes.
Okay. Can you show me your website again?
Yes. Sir. Just a minute. Sir, I'm unable to click on the tab.
Or now I can see your website. You go full screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So your search result is coming on the next page, right?
Yes, sir.
Why is that? The search should be available in the same page itself.
Okay. Sir, I tried that using the reference link that I was provided. It has another section down here, and the problem I was facing that I couldn't fetch the data properly. And when I tried to fetch it on the next page, it was quite easy for me to do.
It is not about easiness, right? You are given some kind of task and you need to do it in the way we have told you to do it, right? That is why we need developers, right? Else I can just why would I need you if you are not able to do what I am telling you to do, right? Based on the requirement, we need to do the certain task because it is the requirement from the client and we don't have liberty to change it the way we want unless and until it is technical issue or let us say a dependency issue that we can't do it. It is possible. We have showed you in the references, right? So if you are not able to do it, then you should try. You need to seek help to get help on how to do it because there is not acceptable if you are just changing the entire flow of your project, right? This is like changing the entire flow of the project. And also, I believe you need to host it on the 000 web host, right? So have
Yes, I
you
did.
hosted it?
Yes, sir, I did. By hosting it, the web page, the images were not able to see. I can provide you the link in the chat support team.
The thing is,
So I just
uh,
presented.
if the images are not visible, then why do you think
Yes,
images are not visible? Have you tried to debug this? Can you show me the
I need
triple
to
zero
find it out.
website? Show me the 000 website that you have uploaded.
So just
Yeah, sure. Hello. Did you find the link of your website that you have uploaded?
Yes, sir.
That is also important that you have everything ready. See, that was the requirement of 000 first, then you should include it in the demonstration itself, right?
Yes, sir.
If you will not demonstrate it, then how I will know if you have actually done the 000 hosting deployment? Then it will be considered that your task is not completed, right? So next time when you are giving, when you have a task, make sure that you include everything that is told for you to do, right?
Okay, sir. I'll make sure.
Yeah, so that is 000 host panel. You need to open the website.
I'm trying to search it. Sir, this is the hosted
Okay,
website.
click F12. F12 or click on right click on the image and click on inspect. Yeah, so what link are you getting?
These images are directly taken from Google.
Yeah, so if they are taken from the Google, then have you checked if the images are working or not, or have you tried downloading it and then saving it?
Okay.
Have you tried doing this thing?
No,
See,
sir.
you need to check if everything is working or not. You just can't tell your client that things are not working, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see what the issue is, and also try to make your doctor list appear in the front page itself. If you are having some issue with the fetching and something, then read documentation on the jQuery, or read some kind of tutorials that are available in WT School or Mozilla Firefox. See, there are a lot of good documentation out there. Okay, try to find what the issue is. There are also a lot of good helping tool, such as there is being chat or everything, so you can get help, right? So try
Yes.
to make it work. If you are not able to get it working, then you can contact me on my email. You get I can help you. Or also you need to make your front end in the Figma, right?
Yes, sir. This is the content, the design I've got from Figma, and I have exported this code using Lokify.
Okay, then where was that part in the demonstration? You didn't really show me your Figma design, right? Or as well Locofy code that you have exported, the code that you got after exporting it from Locofy. That also you need to include.
I'll show you. So the Figma design I'll show you.
No, see, your demonstration is done. There is no point in showing the Figma design right now. Right. So
Okay.
I'm just saying, so next time when you are doing a task and next time you are doing demonstration, make sure that you are including everything. Because see, you have done hard work, right? It must have been
Yes, sir.
really hard for you to learn all those things, considering you are new to Figma or considering you are new to PHP, right? So if you are not properly doing the project demonstration, then all the hard work that you have put in, I will not know how much hard work you have done, right? So next time include everything that you are doing in the project demonstration and work on it. Okay.
Yeah, right, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Khateja.
Okay, sir.
Okay, then we'll move on to Kashish. You can stop the screenshot now.
Can I share? Okay.
Khateja, please stop the screenshot. Okay. Share the screen, Kashish.
Oops.
Can you tell me your task name? Also turn your camera.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, please turn your camera on.
Wait a minute. Sir. Is it visible, sir?
Yeah.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, you can start.
So today I explain stock trading application for it's SDLC. So it's a SDLC for stock trading application. Today's my task. I will explain these contents. What is SDLC and why apply SDLC? Phases of SDLC, SDLC models. Which model is used for making stock trading application and why? References and conclusion. So before starting the we knowing which way SDLC model used for stock trading application, first we understand what is SDLC. Basically, SDLC stands for software development life cycle. Is the framework for software development process, requirement gathering and analysis, system design and architecture. It means basically software development life cycle is a cost effective and a time efficient process that development team used to design and build high quality software. Coding and implementation throughout through testing for defects and error, deployment in production environment, ongoing happens. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Through deployment in production environment, ongoing maintenance and support, iterative development with user feedback, documentation and project management, and ensure systematic and quality software development. Basically, so SDLC is a conceptual framework detecting all activities in software development project for planning to maintenance. So, why apply SDLC in our projects? Development life cycle is needed for software development. SDLC basically SDLC provides a systematically designed framework for building a software, provide better control over each development phase, software design, improve client interaction with the development of the software. So, what are the phases of SDLC? The SDLC life cycle is divided into multiple steps, provide a better end product according to the client required, which are first phase are planning and requirement analysis, defining and requirement. Second phase is architectural design. Third phase, software development and testing. Then deploy maintenance. So, what is planning and requirement analysis? Planning is the most important step for software development. The developer perform the requirement analysis for the software in the team. Basically, the planning and analysis, the first phase of the SDLC is the project planning stage, where you gathering all information from business requirement or projects. The development data is obtained from client and service information from consumer and the sales staff. In this phase, we gather the information from the clients and the stakeholders. The analysis data acts on the basis of for planning the development route for the required software. Basically, in this phase, we can ready a blueprint for the projects. What steps we take in this phase, we can decide the step what we actually do in the project and how can I start it. The quality assurance and risk identifications for the software is also performed at this stage for the development. The second phase is defining requirements. With the completion of the planning step, the next step to present the software requirement and documents to the client and stakeholders. Second one, the task of defining requirement is performed by software requirement specification SRS document, which includes all the product requirement for the SDLC. In this phase, we can in this phase this is a phase of critical converting the information gathered during the planning and analysis phase into the clear requirement for development team. The This process guides the development of several important documents or software requirement specification SRS, a use case document, and a requirement traceability matrix document. Basically, in this we can trace what are the requirements, what which material, which equipments are needed for making a software. Third phase is designing software. Use the SRS document. The developers design the most optimized architecture for the software to be used as an input in the next step. The design document specification DDS. This document is then to be accessed by analysts and stakeholders. After assuming all the possible attributes, the best software design is used for the development. Depending on the requirement, design can be classified into two types. First, software design and software analysis. The design phase is where you put pen to paper, so to speak. The original plan and vision are elaborated into a software design SDD that includes the system design, programming language, template, platform to use, and application security measures. In this phase, these fourth phase is developing software. Using the design outcome, the developer begins coding implementation of the software according to the architecture design. Programming tools such as interpreters, compilers, debuggers, etc. are used to design the best, most optimized software. Programming languages like Python, C++, Kotlin, Java, etc. are used to code the software. Basically, in this way, we can develop the software and we can do the coding for software. Fifth phase is software testing. The developed software product is then tested with multiple test cases to ensure proper execution of all the functions in the software. Minimum test cases are also conducted at each SDLC phase. Through the test cases, all the bugs, errors, and flaws of the products are fixed to meet the requirement according to the SRS document. Basically, in this phase, we can test our software, in this phase we can find some error, all the bugs and flaws of the product, product. In this way, we can fix these problems. Sixth phase is deployment and maintenance of software. The completion of the testing phase leads us to the last step. Is that the deployment step is initiated and software is ready to use and check any deployment issues if any. With the successful deployment of the software, the consumer can start using the product. Maintenance of the software is journal in three formats: upgrade, bug fixing, enhancement. In this phase, we can deliver the software to clients, and maintenance in the which is the upgrade in maintenance. Upgrading the application to the latest system version. We can upgrade functionality time to time for our software fixing, removing error and bug during application execution. Enhancement is installation of new features for the existing product. So, what are the SDLC models? The software development life cycle SDLC applies multiple pre-designed models for software development. There are 7 models. Firstly, waterfall model, V-shaped model, RAD model, prototype model, spiral model, iterative and incremental agile development. So, why apply SDLC model? They provide a base for planning software project for multiple attributes. Provide a pre-applied framework for the new software project. First, we discussed the waterfall model. The waterfall model was the first process model to be introduced. It is also referred to as a linear sequential life cycle model. This means that any phase in the development process begins only if previous phase is completely. In this waterfall model, the phase do not overlap. This model is divided in several ways. Basically, a waterfall model is a linear model. It is designed for small projects. There are several phases like requirement analysis, requirements. In this phase, we can gather the information from the clients. Analysis. we can analyze the software design. In design phase, we can design the software, implementation, testing, maintenance. Second is V-shaped model. The V-shaped model is an SDLC model where execution of process happens in a sequential manner in a V shape. It is also known as verification and validation. The V model is the extension of the waterfall model and is based on the association of testing phase for each corresponding development stage. Basically, is the upgrade. This is the upgradation of waterfall model. So, RAD model. RAD stands for Rapid Application Development. This model is based on prototyping and iterative development with no specific planning involved. It is the process of writing the software itself involves the planning required for developing the product. RAD model is a type of incremental model. This model consists of 4 phases. Basically, this is a model. In this model we can don't include the planning part. There are several. There are basic phases: business modeling, data modeling, process modeling, application generation, testing and turnover. Testing and turnover. In business modeling, we can gather the information from related to business. In data, we can gather the data. Basically, the RAD model is designed for the business. So, what is prototype model? Prototype model is the working model of software with limited functionality. Prototype model is a system development method in which a prototype is built, tested, and then reworked as necessary until an acceptable outcome is achieved, from which the complete system product can be developed. A prototype possesses 4 main characteristics: interactive, precision, representation, and evolution. There are several methods of the industrial prototyping: iterative, parallel, competitive, and rapid. In this model, we can develop the prototype of a software in a first step. These are the several phases of prototype model. So, what is spiral model? The spiral model is a system development life cycle method used for risk management that combines the iterative development process model with elements of the waterfall model. The most important feature of the model is its ability to manage unknown risk after the project has commenced. The spiral model has 4 phases: planning, design, construct, evaluation. In this model, we can analyze the risk of softwares. Some elements are in some waterfall model elements are involved in spiral model. So this is the first planning. In this phase, we can determine the objective, alternative, and constraints. In the second phase, we can analyze the risk and what are the alternatives and evolutions. In third phase, developing of deliverables, and fourth is next iteration planning. Iterative and incremental model. Iterative and incremental development is a process that combines the iterative design method with the increment build model. It is used software developers to help manage incremental. An incremental approach breaks the software development process down to small, manageable portions known as increment. Iterative model means software development activities are systematically repeated in cycles known as iteration. So basically, iterative and incremental model is the combining process of iterative and incremental designs. Next is agile development model. What is agile development model? The agile model is a type of incremental model where software is developed in a rapid increment cycle. The meaning of agile is swift or versatile. Agile process model refers to a process development approach based on iterative development. Phases of agile model are requirement gathering, design the requirements, construction, iteration, testing, quality assurance, deployment, feedback. जिसके agile development model is designed for stock applications, stock and trading applications. These are the phases of agile development models. So which model we use to making stock trading applications? So we use agile Scrum model for making stock trading applications. So why we use As we discussed, agile model is used in stock trading. Basically, is used for trading application because of flexibility and adaptability, iterative development, customer collaboration, time to market, risk mitigation, and continuous improvement. These are the references. These are the references which we use, which website we use for taking a content. So this is the conclusion. Agile system is a commonly used for stock trading application. As we said it, Agile allows flexibility and adaptability to changing requirement and market conditions. Iterative development enables frequent updates and enhancement. Customer collaboration ensures the application meets user needs. Speed to market is achieved with agile frequent releases. Risk mitigation is facilitated through continuous integration and testing. So, last one is continuous improvement drives the application evolution. In every software, there are need to upgradability. So agile model we can use for that. Thank you. Any question you can ask so freely. Okay.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, your presentation was much better from last time. Okay, you have improved a lot when it comes to your explanation skill. But again, today also there were some, like, you were reading from the slide. But as you do more presentation, you will certainly improve. Okay, so work on that part. Also, your story can be improved. You had, like, discussed a lot on lot of topics. So try to give more examples on that. That will be much more preferable. That will also help you build up a good story. Also, your PPT was much better this time. Really well done on that. Other than that, I would say just work on your delivery, improve on it, then your overall presentation will become much better. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Kashish.
Can I leave now, sir?
Yeah, sure, you can leave.
Thank you, sir.
Pratham.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Pratham. What is the name of your task?
So my task is stock screening application in Python.
Is it overview of project synopsis?
Project Synopsis.
Yeah, sure. You can start.
I mean, all the planning related, sir.
Okay, you can start.
Can you see it, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Pratham Golhani, and today I would like to present you my project on developing a stock screening application using Python. So, introduction. In this project, the main objective is to create a stock screening application that allow users to filter stocks based on specific criteria. The application will be developed using Python programming language. Now, how we will develop the project? The solution approach involves several steps. First, we will import the stock data from financial data API. Then we will save this data into file for easy access. Next, we will retrieve the data from the file and process it using a specified algorithm to filter stocks. The filter stocks will be organized into a list and printed for analysis. Now, what libraries we have, like I'm planning to use in this project. To implement this project, we will be using NSEPy library, which will allow us to retrieve stock data from National Stock Exchange NSE. Additionally, we may utilize other libraries such as Pandas and NumPy for data manipulation. And it is not mentioned here, but I am using tkinter for GUI related stuff for this project. Now, the application workflow. The application workflow includes user providing specific criteria for filtering the stocks. The application then fetches real-time stock data from the financial data API and saves it into a file for future use. The data is then retrieved from the file and the specified algorithm is applied to the filter stock based on the given criteria. A list of stocks that meet the criteria is generated and sorted stocks are printed for analysis. Now, what are the benefits of this application? There are several benefits to using this stock screening application. It allows for efficient filtering of stocks based on user-defined criteria, enabling users to focus on the stocks that align with their investment goals. By utilizing their real-time financial data, the application provides accurate analysis for better decision making. Moreover, and automating the stock screening process saves time and user can make informed investment decisions. Uh, that concludes my presentation on stock screening application. Thank you for your attention. Sir?
Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you show me the task email that you have received?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I've shared it.
Okay. Scroll up. So it is overview of project synopsis. Okay. Show me your PPT. Your presentation. Show me.
Yes, sir.
See, in your presentation, it is good that you have a conclusion slide, okay, but it is not enough, okay. It doesn't like, really tell me anything about your project. Then other than that, add a Q&A slide, add a thank you slide. Those are like, generic slide that most of the interns are adding. Even if you
Okay,
don't have it, at least like, say that if anyone has any question, they can ask. That is certainly a good thing to do. Work on your presentation conclusion skill. Okay, overall your presentation was really small. Okay, and you need to work on it, right? Because a topic like over your project synopsis, this was a really small presentation. You need to do more research on it. You need to make it like more informative, so that overall what the project is, that is like well explained, as well as the various features that you have. You need to work on that, how you are able to achieve those features. Other than that, you also didn't show a demonstration. Okay, you need to include a project demonstration also, if it is possible for you. If it is not possible, that is also fine. Try to include some kind of like wireframe or a design, or like a design idea that you may have. Or it is also okay if you are able to like explain the architecture of your expected project that you are going to make. That will be also fine. Okay, for
okay,
task
sir.
like overview of project synopsis, people have created small prototype of stock skinner app where they are able to fetch the data of a stock using the Tinker framework in Python that you are saying. Okay, so you can watch their presentation also to get more information on that. Other than that, I would say just work on your presentation skill, work on your delivery, try to be more informative, do more in-depth research on it, and also see how other people are doing their presentation, and have your like proper slides such as Q&A slide, thank you slide, or whatever the introduction slide that may be necessary, or a demonstration slide, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so work on that. I want improvement next time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Yeah, so we'll move on to Kunal.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please turn your camera. Yeah, now you're visible. What is the name of your task?
It's my project synopsis of stock trading app.
Okay, you can share the screen.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible.
So, my name is Kunal Singhal. It's from GL University, third year, Bachelor's of Computer Application. It's my project about stock trading app in Android development group. These are the contents like what is stock trading application, and there are many types of stocks generally, and I am using Android Studio. In that, there are two languages are used mostly. First is Java and second one is Kotlin. And for stock, for the information that how I
fetching the stock information, I'm using API, that is Alpha Vantage API, then IDE, that's Android Studio. And first of all, what is stock? That is, stock represents ownership in a company and bought and sold in financial markets, like a company which is distributed in stocks and one person holding in exchange of some money. And for that, I'm going to build a app. The main unique part is I am focusing to user beginners friendly, like who is entering new in this stock trading thing. And the stock prices fluctuate based on supply and demand, and investing in stocks offers potential capital appreciation and dividend income. Like these are like stock market, the stocks are like increase and decrease, profit loss. And second one, what is stock trading application? Stock trading application which provides a platform where a user can easily buy and sell his stocks and can book his profit or that loss. Okay, so meets innovation, stock trading application that meets innovation, like many of our websites and apps who provides a simple platform for stock trading. Our platform offers a user-friendly experience, delivered personalized insights, like we can use news so that user can easily get that stock news, what stock can we go up and what things. So we can use news API for that. Customizable watch list. A person can add his like good stocks in their personalized watch list. These are the my one like that. And secure transaction. There are many types of stocks on which we can tackle that, like common stock, preferred stock, like shares, preference shares, and these are things. Now for the stock trading application, I'm using Kotlin for backend, and for database management, this time I'm going to use Firebase and XML, and API is Alpha Vantage API. For the IDE, that is Android Studio. About Kotlin and Android Studio, that why I'm using Kotlin and Android Studio. Android Studio is a powerful integrated development environment, and it offers like the various debugging skills. Android Studio that offers a user-friendly interface, like I previously mentioned, that easy debugging, we can do easy debugging, and that Android Studio also come up with inbuilt emulators. We can use them, and various APIs. Android Studio comes with various APIs that so that user can develop easily and provide basic features. Excellent debugging. It is an ideal choice for developing the stock trading. Gives it comprehensive features and robust development environment. What is API? API is application interfaces. Application interfaces considered a variety of options. What are the key factors? So on that we have to choose what API, that is ensuring real-time data access users without delays or interruptions. Like we are choosing the API that should not come up with interruptions, and the data access is fast. So the data access should be fast. API just like we are maintain a connection. API just maintain a connection between app and the backend services. These are the middle API is used. So API should be fast and without interruptions. Another important factor, range of features offered by API. So in API, Alpha Vantage API that return JSON object. So JSON object with all features. We have to like extract what features should we have to use. Okay, the API should be stable with a wide range of features. Alpha Vantage API, features for selecting Alpha Vantage API, wide range of data points. Alpha Vantage have real-time stock codes and wide ranges, and there are lots of data we can, and it has all the features that I have to put in my Android app. So reputation as Alpha Vintage API has high reputation in the stock trading APIs, is integration into existing code base, saving time and effort in development process, saving time and effort in development process. So this is the app, stock trading app. This is conclusion part, and as we know, before the stock trading is not online, these are very hard to invest in companies. After that, it got very easy, like Zerodha, Stock Pro has also contributed in this thing to make stock trading easy. So now further unique points that I have to make our project like beginners friendly, that my app can suggest like some not financial advice, some education advice, that these news are in stock market. So these are the unique points. We have also been advanced, and I have used for that Android Studio and Kotlin developing this app. And these are the references: ChatGPT, Wikipedia, and YouTube.
Okay, so I hope your presentation is done.
Yes.
Okay. See, you need to work on your presentation skill, especially work on your delivery part. Okay, so when you are giving a presentation, try to be more active as well as make it more smoother. Okay, so your presentation was really not the delivery needs work. So again, second thing is what I can say is you can try to make a script of what you are going to say, practice it, and then give presentation, right? That will be much more better. Also work on your story part. Okay, there wasn't much, and also it was not in depth. We need more in-depth content when it comes to the overview of project synopsis, right? And also demo part is we can say consider your entire presentation as demo. That was fine. So that is good, but you need to work on your conclusion part, because your conclusion part didn't really give me what about your actual project. It did conclude the the stock trading application that you are saying, but it didn't conclude with respect to the technical aspect of your application that you are working on or you will be working on, right? So try to make it more better, your conclusion part. Overall, I would say your presentation was better for being your first presentation. I believe it is your first one, right? So this is much better. You perform much better than other people, but there is room for improvement. You can watch other people's presentation on this same topic, and then you will get much better idea of what to do. So next time I'm expecting you to perform much better. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Kunal. Okay, then. It is already I believe 8:55. Okay. So if you guys have any doubt, you guys can ask me. And for the presentation that are remaining, uh, so sadly we can't take any more presentation because we are out of time limit. So people who are remaining and you have presentation, give your name in the chat. I will note it down. And tomorrow at 7 p.m. I will take your presentation before anyone else. Okay. So you will be first person who will be giving the presentation tomorrow. You don't have to wait till, or even if you are not able to join at 7, just put it in the chat box. I will take your presentation. You don't have to wait in line. So add your name in the chat box if your presentation is remaining. Okay, Kamlesh, I will take your presentation tomorrow. You can join at any time. Just let me know tomorrow in the chat box that your presentation is remaining. You joined today. I will take your presentation right away. Okay. So Khushi, you have a query.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, I have the same problem like I told you the past week that I did not receive the data set.
Okay.
I joined as an ML intern, but there are many problems because of the data set. I've
Your email.
trying to contact.
I have a dataset CSV file. I will give it to you so that you can start working on the project.
Yes, sir.
Give your email in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have sent it to you. Check your Gmail and let me know.
Okay, sir. Thank you. No, sir, I haven't received it yet.
Just a
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me know if you have any more queries. Well,
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you, Kashish. So I believe we can end the session. It is already 9 p.m. Thank you for joining. We'll take remaining presentation tomorrow. We'll end the session here for today.